scores! Sends the one-timer, scores!
Great save made by Gustavsson.
Right here, what an awesome pass through the slot, onto the stick of Batherson.
Kachuk in tight up, let's get going, scores! Brady Kachuk wins it in overtime for Ottawa.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I am your host. Now, before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SensTalk_, and on Instagram at SensTalk as well. Go to SeatGeek.com and use promo code SensTalk. You'll save $20 off your first purchase as the hockey season is now finally underway. Make sure to take advantage of this great deal. You get to save $20 off your first purchase. So you can get to go to a game for a much better price while helping us out here at SensTalk to produce this great free content for you guys. Now, before we get into tonight's game between the Dallas Stars and the Ottawa Senators, the first game that Senators have played against an American team in almost 2 years. Last night, Ottawa took on Toronto. They unfortunately fell to the Maple Leafs 3-1. Josh Norris got the lone goal for the Senators as the Sens overall looked flat last night. Tim Stützle was the Sens Talk star of the night last night. He seems to get a few chances every single game. We're going to talk about him later in this video because he was fantastic once again tonight. But who was not fantastic on Saturday night against the Leafs was Victor Mete and Nikita Zaitsev. They were absolutely horrible with one another. Zaitsev and Mete, and the Sens going into today's game were looking to make changes because of that terrible game from that defensive pairing. After losing to Toronto yesterday, the Ottawa Senators are looking to get back into the win column, so because of this, the coaching staff has made some changes. Firstly, Victor Mete draws out of the lineup, Michael Del Zotto draws into the lineup for his Senators debut. He will be paired with Nikita Zaitsev on that second pairing, and I'll have some comments later in this video about how that second pairing did. Filip Gustavsson makes his first start of the season for Ottawa tonight. He looked really good. We'll get into that later. And then Brady Kachuk, he did not play tonight, but he looks to be starting or in the lineup regardless on Thursday against the San Jose Sharks. It looks like Thursday against the Sharks will be the debut for Brady Kachuk this season. Now let's get into today's recap. Sens win 3-2 over the Dallas Stars as Filip Gustavsson in his season debut makes 32 stops. Tonight, Connor Brown got career assist, number 100, as he assisted in all 3 goals on the night for the Senators. Chris Turney got in on the fun with 2 goals on the night. Both bounced in off him and in. Regardless, doesn't matter. They don't ask how, they ask how many. That is now 3 goals in the last 4 games for Chris Turney. Another hot start for the Senators center. Now let's get into the game notes, shall we? So here are my game notes for tonight's game against the Dallas Stars. Firstly, the Senators need to clean up their defensive scheme. This is 3 games in a row where the slot in front of the net was left wide open for a goal or at least an opportunity. Ottawa needs to clean up that defensive scheme because you're going to get burnt every single game moving forward if you do not clear the front of the net, especially in that slot area. A goalie is 9 out of 10 times not going to stop that, and that is exactly how you could kill all the momentum in the game for your team. So if Ottawa just wants to play clean, simple defense, it starts with clearing the front of your net and leaving that slot protected to make sure there's no easy tapping goal or one-timer goal right in front of the net that the goalie has no chance stopping. So that is 3 games in a row, where that's happened. Ottawa needs to clean it up moving forward. Now, I will be honest, and we'll talk about this later in the video, the defense as the game went on definitely improved. So there was not really that many other instances where that happened, but the fact that it happened once is more than enough because that was the opening goal. Ottawa was lucky that Nick Paul responded 51 seconds later because Dallas really could have ran away with it because, that's a backbreaker goal, just wide open in front of the net. You cannot have that happening. So Ottawa really needs to clean that up, and I think they will. It's still early in the season, but yeah, that's 3 games in a row now that has happened. So I really wanted to point that out because once again, just cannot happen. We're in the National Hockey League. Mistakes happen, yes, but mistakes need to be corrected quickly or else they'll become issues and not just mistakes. Speaking of the defensive scheme, Filip Gustavsson tonight looked like a veteran goalie. He looked calm, he was very composed in the net, limited rebounds on the saves he had to make, and he was very positionally sound. For young goaltenders, especially like goaltenders of the age of Filip Gustavsson, I mean like really young goaltenders, trying to establish themselves into the National Hockey League, you often see them in the net in the National Hockey League making very erratic stops. They're out of position, they're needing the sprawl to make some big stops, this and that. Sometimes it works out, like Dominik Hasek, for example, or other goaltenders where they somehow make these big stops. Most of the time it does not. With Filip Gustavsson, we don't see that. We don't see him sprawling. We don't see him out of position because that's how good he is. That's how technical he is, and that's how technical his game is, frankly. That's what truly sets him apart from a lot of other young goaltenders is the fact that he already looks like he's an established goaltender in the league. Very calm, very composed, and very positionally sound when squaring up to the puck to make that save. When a goaltender is not erratic in the net and is not, constantly sprawling, that's a very good omen for the rest of their career, because if they can get those fundamentals down earlier and they can develop with those fundamentals, watch out, because that kid is going to be a star. And Filip Gustavsson, I'm not saying he's a star yet, but he was drafted early for a reason by Pittsburgh. He played well with Sweden at the World Junior Championships for a reason. This kid is definitely going to be a really good National Hockey League goaltender, and we're starting to see why. And it's really because of how technically sound his game is and how advanced his game is for how young he is. Now, Tyler Ennis, as we switch now to the forwards, Tyler Ennis is such a reliable forward for this team. He signed a one-year deal last year with Ottawa. We traded him to Edmonton, of course, and I was upset at the time that we did that because, one, the pick wasn't great. It was like a fifth-round pick. But two, Tyler Ennis has always been low-key a very solid bottom six forward. In your bottom six, you want some peskiness, you want some grittiness, but you also want some scoring, and that's what Tyler Ennis can bring to any team, especially Ottawa, especially in the last couple of years in their bottom six. Tyler Ennis got that first goal of his season in the home opener against Toronto, of course, on the power play, but Tyler Ennis, especially on the boards, he does a lot of great board work. This player, sorry, I'm so used to saying kid, but this player, there's so many kids on this team, but this player, Tyler Ennis, especially for the low, he's really cheap. The low amount of money Ottawa's playing him, this player generates, I'd say, 3 to 4 good scoring chances a game, and that's all you can ask for in your bottom six. Of course, like I just said, you need them to be physical, gritty, whatever in the bottom six, but like I said, if your bottom six can contribute offensively, that's always a plus. And that line of Turney, Alex Formenton, and Tyler Ennis this season have so far been fantastic. Now, speaking of fantastic, Nick Paul was on an absolute mission tonight against his former team, the Dallas Stars, as he was noticeable every single shift. Tonight, he scored a goal to tie it at 1, but every single shift, apart from that goal, he was having an impact on the game. He was either creating great chances with his great forechecking abilities and good physicality along the boards to win those puck battles. And overall, that line with Shane Pinto and Connor Brown have been great the last 3 games. Shane Pinto, in particular, had a great defensive play early in the game on a 3-on-1 attack for Dallas. He back-checked and broke up the play. Very Patrice Bergeron-esque, as he's been compared to. And, of course, Connor Brown, 3 assists tonight. So Ottawa's lines in the forward core are really rolling right now. All 4 of them are doing really, really well. And, of course, that first line of Tim Stützle, Josh Norris, and Drake Batherson, again, were fantastic tonight. Batherson had multiple beautiful setups tonight, one to Chabot, one to Stützle. As Stützle continues to make magic happen out there, he has been stifled so far, hasn't got a goal this season so far, but eventually those will go in. One of these days, Stützle will score on one of those chances. As long as he continues to create those chances, he will score. You have to remember this kid is just 19 years old, and he's only going to get better. It's really scary if you're not an Ottawa Standard fan to watch this kid right now, because every single game he's pulling off moves that humans really should not be able to pull off. So after a shaky start to the game for this defensive core, they quietly settled down after that first goal. They were pretty decent, especially after that first goal, to be quite honest with you. The Chabot and Zub pairing, as usual, were fantastic, while Nick Holden and Josh Brown quietly were great in a shutdown role, especially in the last 45 seconds. DJ Smith, I was a little surprised. He put Zub and Zaitsev out for the last, from 2 minutes to like a minute, and then the last minute of play, it was Josh Brown and Nick Holden, and frankly, they did a great job, especially Josh Brown on that left hash mark side. He's doing a really good job at blocking any passing lane and getting the puck out of the zone. So shout out to Holden and Josh Brown. They were fantastic today. And Zaitsev and Michael Dozado, they were better than expected, to be honest. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting much out of that pairing. That first goal was on them. But after that, they were pretty solid, to be honest. I can't recall too many lapses by them. And overall, the defensive core really settled down after that first goal. Now let's get to the Sens Talk Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans. Your Sens Talk Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans, is as follows. In one of the closest polls in Sens Talk Star of the Night history, a goalie has won the Sens Talk Star of the Night again, as Filip Gustavsson is your Sens Talk Star of the Night, making 32 saves and getting 28% of the vote. Throw up the poll here. Really, really close. Chris Turney with 21, Nick Paul with 26, Connor Brown, of course, with 25. Gustavsson wins it by 2% at 28%. Really, really close. But he is your Sens Talk Star of the Night, and well-deserved. Once again, not the flashiest game from Filip Gustavsson, but a very effective game where he was very calm, composed, and looked like a veteran goalie out there. And most importantly of all, he looks to be the future in net for your Ottawa Senators, which is very encouraging if you're a Sens fan, because you have him, and if he doesn't work out for whatever reason, you have Matt Sogard, and if Matt Sogard doesn't work out for whatever reason, you have Kevin Mandolese, and by the way, if Kevin Mandolese doesn't work out for whatever reason, you have Levi Merlanen, and of course Matt Murray as well. Ottawa has a surplus, frankly, of goaltenders, and that is never a bad thing. And besides that, thank you all for watching. The next Senators game is this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time versus the San Jose Sharks, as Brady Tkachuk makes his season debut. I believe later this week, probably on Tuesday, we'll have a Sens Donks episode with Noah Ludin, the first of the season. Stay tuned on Twitter. I'll confirm that there. I'll have to talk with Noah Ludin, but I believe it will be before Thursday's game. There'll be Sens Donks episode number 1 for this season. Besides that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support as usual as the Senators win it 3-2 over the Dallas Stars. Besides that, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video, share this video, cool stuff, and of course, click the big red button down there, make it gray, and subscribe to us. Most importantly of all, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support. Go Sens, go.